Hi, I'm Susan, and today I'm going to be taking a quick look at Scar of the Doll. When you first boot up Scar of the Doll, it's easy to laugh at how dated it looks. Scar of the Doll is a visual novel which was originally released in Japan in 1999, and the Steam version is supposed to have updated visuals, so that kind of makes me wonder what the original visuals were like. The interface is also a bit clumsy with this giant answer button that you have to click after you've selected an option, and often it's rendered even more annoying because the game will, in quite a few scenarios, only give you one option to choose anyway. So that's the visual part, and what about the novel part? Scar of the Doll is written by Hidehisa Miyashita, the writer behind the PlayStation 3 RPG Folklore. I haven't really played that game, so I don't really know what to say about that, but it might mean something to somebody else out there. The story revolves around this character called Asumi, and Asumi's older sister goes to this graduate school in Tokyo. Asumi hasn't heard anything from her in a long time, and even though she calls and leaves message after message, she gets nothing back. And eventually she gets so worried she decides to make the journey to Tokyo to the apartment where her sister is supposed to be staying. Unfortunately, when she gets there, she finds that her sister's not there, and when she tries to visit the graduate school where her sister is supposed to be studying, there's no trace of her there either. It's almost as if she never existed. So with that in mind, you'll know within 15 minutes or so whether you're going to like Scar of the Doll or not. I say 15 minutes because, especially if you're a fast reader, it takes about that much time to really get an idea of how the game looks and works, and a sense of the story, and whether you think it's worth pursuing. So in my case, I did decide that it was worth pursuing, and I was rewarded with this story that had its twists and turns, and it was surprisingly suspenseful, and it had a few thrills. However, I finished it in around an hour 30, which makes this a very short visual novel, even with an extra scenario and a few bad endings. The game kindly tells you though where you went wrong, and when you're about to enter a point in the story where choices can result in bad endings, it gives you fair warning and encourages you to make regular saves. However, I do think that it is a very short experience, and if you're a regular visual novel player, you'll likely find that this is only a passing diversion rather than anything else more substantial. Scar of the Doll is currently £6.99 on Steam, and it might burn to know that this was also on iOS a while back at a much lower price. So you might want to wait until it's on sale if you're curious enough, as there are other visual novels at the same price point that offer a much more thorough experience. For example, the excellent Higurashi When They Cry series is a classic. Each installment is around the same price, and it still gives you a much longer and higher quality experience in terms of storytelling and character development. Higurashi falls in the same category as Scar of the Doll, in the sense that the visuals are also a bit janky, but they're easily forgiven if you can look past them into the story. But I think in the case of Higurashi, you get a much more thorough story that's kind of really worth your time and money, rather than Scar of the Doll, which feels a lot shorter and more superficial, therefore, by comparison. Still, Scar of the Doll was interesting and enjoyable enough, and the story's twists and turns did provide some surprises. I will say that if you are the more discerning visual novel fan, you might be looking for something else.